All right. Let's see. There we go. I think we're live. Yes, we are. So, up, ladies and gentlemen, Akalon here, and of course, welcome back to each and every one of you. And if you're watching this over on YouTube, remember to hit the like button and click the link in the description down below because it's always better when it's live. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, and that means, well, it doesn't mean anything really, it just means it's Thursday. But what is cool is we may just have the largest lore drop that we have ever seen in World of Warcraft. Ever. I don't think there's ever been a single piece of information within World of Warcraft that's been bigger than this. I'm yet to verify it, so we'll make sure about that. Let's do that now. Because obviously lots and lots and lots of things can happen and will possibly happen. So this is called The Old Gods and the Ordering of Azeroth. Annotated. Let's just see. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh shit, Vanny, how you doing, fam? I'm just trying to see here. Here we go. Ancient copy of this. The book. And then the first one is the Edicts of the Prime Designate Odin. He referred to mortals as aberrations and wanted to eradicate them. Token, how you doing, fam? Why can't I see this? Let's just open these for now, because this is gonna have to be covered. I think we've done some of this, but let me show you what I'm busy with, just so you guys can see as well. Because this is massive. If true, this is absolutely huge. Does Huawei have anything on this? This is an old one. At least the one that they have. Fuck. Why don't they have the... I don't understand. Why does Huawei not have the item? Is this the one? This is the one. Is it the one? No. Trying to get information from my local council for my business. It's like trying to make a rock bleed. What do you need for your business, Token? You found some new released lore about the old gods? Yes, bro. Yes. Massive news. But I don't... Here we go. Click on the fucking Wowhead link. Let's go. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. So it has the item, but it doesn't show what the item has inside it. Very interesting. Why? Why won't it show what's inside of it? Fuck. Okay, so Wowhead has not updated that yet. Should be fine though. Let's go. Edicts of the Prime Designate. This is an important bit. Edicts. We'll put that first. Progress report Uldoris. I think we've already covered, but we'll do it anyway, just because it is part of everything. And then this one. But of course, it doesn't have... This one doesn't have any... Yeah, sadly, this one doesn't have anything of note. Fuck. Okay. It doesn't show, but someone linked it to me on Twitter, so that should be fine. This is the one that's been linked to me on Twitter. This is huge, by the way. Wild Boy, how you doing, fam? We'll get into it in a minute. We're just waiting for everyone to sort of show up and, you know, settle in. And then we'll get into it, because this is truly mind-blowing. You guys have no idea. The things that we're about to uncover in this stream. Whoa. Whoa. Boy. Shit. Oh, shit. This basically confirms one of the longest standing theories we've ever had in World of Warcraft. And it does so much more. You'll see. You'll see. This is huge. Tatiana, how you doing? Oh, shit. Deaths are coming. How you doing, fam? Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that, man. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Very happy to have you here. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be happy to know I have found an electrician. I have paid the electrician, and they are coming on Friday. Tomorrow, actually. So, tomorrow I won't be live, because tomorrow I will have an electrician in my house turning the electricity on and off, installing my battery in my inverter. So, if we're lucky, after tomorrow, fuck load shedding. Shamanita, how you doing? It has been ages, Tatiana, but it's because I stream at the worst time for you Americans. I am trying to fix it. As soon as I have this battery and this inverter, I should be able to go back to a normal stream time, you know, where everyone can actually show up. Town Portal, how you doing, bro? I'm very happy, man. Finally load shedding free. Oh yeah, not entirely load shedding free, because I didn't install any solar panels yet. So that's the next step, is buying solar panels and installing solar panels, and that it's still not gonna really help, because the battery that I got is a 5 kilowatt battery, which is about enough to last for 4 hours, right? All things considered. It will power me for about 4 hours, which is fine for load shedding. But obviously, if you're going to try and get completely off the grid, potentially I'm going to need 2 more, right, to get to 15 kilowatts, or alternatively a 10 kilowatt battery, or even a 20 kilowatt battery, so that I can charge it through the day on the solar and then have it run off, you know. 8 times a 30-minute stream? True. Town Portal? True. I mean, yes, if we wanted to break it down that way. Or 4 hours, it's just a 4-hour stream, which is still fine, right? Of course, nothing is known. This is just based on, like, very quick math, based on consumption. So it is possible, but this is why I don't really mind. Because it is possible that the battery in the inverter won't be able to run like a stream and the air conditioner and everything for 4 hours. But that doesn't really matter, because even if it does only do 3 hours, that's 3 hours extra that we can stream during a 4-hour power outage that previously I couldn't stream. Right? If we go, like, previously I would have had to switch off the minute load shedding starts. So now, if I start streaming 2 hours before load shedding starts, I still have about 3 hours, you know, extra. So that's at least 5 hours of streaming. So I think that's perfect. Even if you gotta turn stream off early, but you get an hour of comfort after it alone. Yeah, I mean, it's not even about the comfort, because the load shedding doesn't bother me from a personal standpoint. It's more from a work standpoint, right? I want to be able to stream, and what load shedding does is it completely ruins your day to the point where you don't want to stream, you don't want to do anything, because fuck it. You know, like now, I'm literally counting the hours until the power goes off, and then right as the power comes on, I'm counting the hours again until the power goes off. So everything, like, you can't start anything, because if it's gonna take longer than the hours that you have available, there's no point in starting it. Unless, of course, it's something that you can sort of roll over. Yeah, it basically, your entire life revolves around when do I have electricity so that I can do something. And if it's something that's gonna take too long, you can't do it, so you have to look ahead at the schedule and be like, okay, so which day will I have time for this thing that I really want to do now, right? So all of that is just perfect. It's gonna remove all that bullshit. What is the stream about? I know it has lore, but of what? Funny man, we're gonna be talking about the old gods. There is some, let's call it, earth-shattering lore about the old gods that's literally been revealed in a new book. So yeah, it's kind of huge. If, of course, this I can't verify it, because none of the sources that I would generally use to verify it has the actual, like, book. It doesn't actually say what it is. All I have of this book is what's been shared, right? So what's been shared with me on Twitter. Now, of course, it is possible that whoever shared this with me on Twitter was just lying, and if that's the case, fucking good job. You know, we've been had. But I don't know if that would be the case. I don't think I don't think this guy, like, Ryan has never done that before, so I don't think Ryan would do it now. But we'll see, right? Mike, I shaved my beard so long ago. What are you talking about? All right, it'll be a lot easier to upgrade. Oh yeah, I mean, from here, upgrading is relatively simple. So that is true. Once you have the original, like, once you have the base installed, upgrading becomes a lot cheaper and also a lot easier. Long ago for me is a month. It's been more than a month since I've shaved my beard. I actually have to go back and shave my beard and shave my hair and things because it's getting long again. I probably won't shave the beard, but the hair needs to be shaved again. I don't like it. It's getting too long now. I'm literally just waiting for people to sort of arrive. I don't want to do this and then people arrive late and they're like, what the fuck? Where's the lore? Like, bro, what's going on? Maybe we'll do another video that I sort of want to talk about something that's been going on in South Africa. So, you know. Yeah, let's talk about this. If you're not from South Africa, I realize that the majority of my audience isn't South African, and that's fine. But this is specifically going out to the South Africans. There are some of you from the rest of the world that do care about stuff like this, but of course, that is relatively rare because this is not something that influences or impacts you in any way, shape, or form. But, okay, so most of you by now should know what load shedding is. If you're in South Africa, you're intimately familiar with what load shedding is. But let's talk very quickly. Just to be clear, to put everything on the table here, load shedding is not the fault of Eskom. Load shedding is not the fault of white monopoly capital, as people would have you believe. Load shedding is first and foremost and primarily the fault of the ANC. Even if you could make the case that, you know, white monopoly capital played a role in the fleecing as well as the corruption at Eskom, in which case I do agree with you. There are very greedy companies out there that have made billions on the back of Eskom. It's all come from the ANC. These companies have been enabled to do what they have done because of the ANC. So when someone like Julius Malema wants to blame white monopoly capital, what he's doing is he's baiting and switching. He's effectively telling you, don't look at the ANC, look at the white monopoly capital, the ANC has complete and utter control of Eskom. It is a state-owned enterprise. This means the government owns it and all of what it does, including who it does business with. So let's get that out of the way first and foremost. Now, the ANC have, for the last few days, started talking about declaring a national state of disaster. What does that mean? What even is a national state of disaster? Well, we just came out of COVID, and as you know, the government declared a national state of disaster during COVID. But that's not quite what a national state of disaster is in principle. So in principle, the Disaster Act in South Africa is a very special instrument. It allows for government to take extraordinary measures in order to respond to a disaster that is not of its own making. In other words, a storm, or a fire, or an earthquake, or an invasion by a foreign nation. What the national state of disaster ultimately allows the government to do is absolute. The government can do everything within its own power in order to set the problem right, and with very little oversight. Ordinarily, in South Africa, the way our political system is structured, whenever government wants to do something, especially when it comes to like big sweeping things, Parliament has to be notified, Parliament has to sign off on the things that government wants to do, and of course this goes through the different parliamentary committees. So you have a committee of energy, and if you want to build new power stations, it's the committee of energy that would have to sign off on all the new power stations that you build. If you wish to give massive grants to different companies to build power stations, this would have to go through some level of oversight. The national state of disaster allows for the government to effectively say, screw that, screw Parliament, screw oversight. We do what we do because we have to save the country. Now, of course, Mr. Ramaphosa have been speaking about implementing this national state of disaster. So let's go to the original point. It is an instrument that is very specifically designed to allow government to react to an unforeseen disaster. This disaster within South Africa has been foreseen since 2008. Actually, if we want to be very specific, it's been foreseen since 1999. In 1999, Eskom, the then Eskom management, went to the government, Thabo Mbeki's government, and they told him, look, if you do not build new power stations, if we do not add more electricity generation to the grid, we will start suffering national blackouts in 2008. And for various reasons. One of them was just simply the expansion of the grid. Of course, the old Nats, the apartheid government, they weren't so interested in providing electricity to the black people of South Africa. To them, the black people had fire, and that was pretty much, good enough as far as they were concerned. Of course, once the ANC came into power, they started doing what everyone agrees was the right thing. Start providing electricity to all people in South Africa. But when you have a system that is designed to provide electricity to roughly 3.8 million people, because that's about as many white people as there are in South Africa, and now this system is tasked with providing electricity to roughly 54 million people, you can see how there can be a mathematical problem there. Right? The system was not designed to provide electricity for this many people. So new generation was always going to have to come online so that you could provide electricity to all people within the country. The ANC, of course, did what it always does. It ignored it. It was like, nah, fam, it'll be good. It'll be good. And then in 2008, of course, the load shedding started. So this problem has been foreseen since 1998. 2008, we had the first bouts of load shedding. And of course, now we've not had a day without load shedding in 2023. But so the government wants to implement this national state of disaster in order to react and ultimately fix the power problems within South Africa. And government is coming with a promise. They say that if they can implement the national state of disaster, they'll be able to abolish load shedding within 2023. So by the end of 2023, there will be no more load shedding whatsoever. That's bullshit. Straight up. Everything that the government can do in order to alleviate load shedding within the country can be done without the declaration of a national state of disaster. Why do I say this? Well, we need new generation capacity to come online. All of the generational capacity that can come online will only come online in about 2 years, maybe 3 years, depending, of course, on how long it takes to build. We also have a problem where Eskom simply doesn't have enough capacity for all of the electricity that needs to come online. Even, whether you have a state of disaster or no state of disaster, this is going to take, at least by the most conservative estimates, at least 2 years, right, in order to build. So no matter what happens, it's going to be at least 2 years before load shedding is fixed. So why the national state of disaster? Well, this is where we get into the really interesting things, because a national state of disaster doesn't just grant the government extraordinary powers. It does something far more nefarious than that. The National State of Disaster Act suspends the Constitution in all but name. The government is allowed, and we saw this during COVID, all of our freedoms were taken away by the implementation of the National State of Disaster Act. Technically speaking, you have a right to association under our Constitution. The government simply came in and said, you cannot associate with anyone because we the law now, bro. And you couldn't do anything about it, even though people took the government to court. The courts couldn't overturn this because a national state of disaster gives the government complete freedom to do whatever the hell they want. This includes a little thing. This is very small. This really not even something that we really have to worry about. But in our Constitution is this tiny thing. I'm struggling to remember what it's called. It's this thing that happens every 4 years, where people go stand in queues and they make marks on paper in order to decide who leads, Elections, that's what it's called. Yes, elections. That's something that's guaranteed within the Constitution of South Africa. The National State of Disaster Act says that the government has the right to exclude or ignore what the Constitution says. So why is it that the ANC wishes to implement a national state of disaster? It's simple. Everything the government can do to fix the electricity crisis within South Africa is going to be politically very uncomfortable for the ANC. Very uncomfortable for the ANC. It's going to piss people off. We already see it. Just the current load shedding is causing the ANC to fall in polls almost daily. The ANC went from late November, almost 46%, to now scoring below 40% in many polls. Some polls have them as low as 36%. Other polls have them just above 40%, meaning the ANC has lost their majority. And this is just stage 6 load shedding. It's gonna get worse, just to be clear, because in order to fix this, what the government will ultimately have to do is they will have to shut down entire power stations in order to refurbish and refit. This means we're looking at stage 8, 9, 10, probably even 15 at some point, as the government tries to fix the power situation within South Africa. If that happens, you can imagine, stage 6 load shedding, the government drops 10 percentage points in, 3 months? What do you think happens at stage 15 load shedding? The ANC loses its majority, it becomes a minority party within a month or two. Because stage 15 would be harsh. We're looking at 12, 14, almost 16 hours without power at that point. So it would be very, very politically taxing, and there's no way the ANC survives after this. But this is where the national state of disaster comes in. Because once you've declared the national state of disaster, you now don't need or have to have elections. So it doesn't matter how popular you are in the polls. It doesn't matter that only 20% of South Africans still want you as the government. There's no election. There's no way to change hands. And the government can effectively say, we're going to keep you in a perpetual state of disaster until such time that we have solved the energy problem, and then hopefully we get our popularity back. Now, if history has ever taught us anything, it is that there is nothing more permanent than a temporary government program. If the ANC implements a national state of disaster in this country, we will need a civil war in order to get out of it. You can take my word on this. If we want to take this country back, it will take a civil war. The ANC will not relent that power under any circumstances because they will not lose the election. That's just never gonna fucking happen. 100%, you have to know this. So what can we, the citizens of South Africa, do? And I will have a video on this at some point. I will speak on this because I do think there are things that we can do. I also think there are things that people want to do that is just completely nuts and bonkers to me. But it has to do with taxes, our acceptance of taxes, and what exactly taxes are for. Why do we pay taxes? What exactly is the transaction that takes place under taxes? And why are South Africans still paying for it? I'm not saying don't pay your taxes. Would never inform you to commit an offense. But we do have to have that conversation at some point. Anyways, whatever you do, the ANC cannot be allowed to implement a national state of disaster. Whatever happens, that cannot happen. All right. Thanks for listening. Surely there's a limit for the state of emergency. Usually it's about 6 months. Okay, so Alderson, technically speaking, in South Africa, the rules state that they can implement it for a maximum period of 2 months, and then they have to go back to Parliament in order to ask permission for an extension of 30 days. But we saw during COVID that's more of a guideline. They do not follow that. They basically implemented a national state of disaster, and then they just kept it going. It was just, South Africa was in a national state of disaster for 2 years. Because this is what most people don't realize. Constitutions are largely useless. It's a piece of paper. The only strength that a constitution have is in everyone's willingness to actually follow it. Right? That's literally the only place where a constitution even fucking matters. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is, you know? Anyways, just quickly want to say, Headless Horse, thank you so much, bro. 3 months part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. And Drickus, 7 months part of the DJ Nation. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. You guys are far too kind. All right, we're probably going to get into the lore discussion in a second. I do have one more conversation that I want to have about South Africa, if you guys don't mind. I mean, if you really mind it, I can always do it offline, but I do have a little bit of a rant that I want to get off my chest. Months during COVID and a few people went nuts. Alden, what country was that? It's fucking cold in Houston right now. Nice. Do you think, Chicken Wing? Okay, since most of you don't mind, we'll do one more rant. Okay, I have one more rant that I really want to bring up because it seems to me that South Africans suffer from sort of collective Alzheimer's, which is just crazy to me. So we're all getting used to stage 6 load shedding. It's happening more and more often. I'm pretty sure that within the next 6 months or so, South Africans will be well equipped for stage 6 load shedding, and it will probably play very little part in, the day-to-day lives of most South Africans. But suddenly, and I don't know if the rest of you have noticed this, but suddenly, at the beginning of 2023, every single political party and their mothers are out in force, doing their little marches and taking the government to court because now is the time to act, right? You saw Steenhuisen from the DA standing up and saying, this is enough. This is the ANC. They've done this. We'll march to the Luthuli house because this is the scene of the crime. Very passionate, fucking impassionate speech. Like, the man is just riling up the crowd, and everyone's screaming and saying, down with the ANC, Futsak ANC. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. The EFF is planning to shut down the country as a whole. You have every single political party and, everyone in the country is taking the government to court. And everyone is celebrating this, The media is going absolutely nuts. Oh my God. We have to have all of these political leaders on every night to explain to us, why exactly are you taking the government to court? Tell us, what are you hoping to achieve? Because it's ratings, it's views, it's great. And like you, I have also sat there and, really bought into this. It's been fun. But constantly in the back of my mind, there's this little gnawing thing that's just eating at me. We have known about load shedding since 2008. I mean, the country. We learned about it in 2008. We have known that load shedding is gonna get worse since 2008 because Eskom literally told us that unless new power stations are built, it's gonna get worse. We knew in 2016, we were warned that a national blackout is becoming a bigger and a bigger reality. And no one did anything. Oh, the DA thumped their chests, of course. They were like, this government doesn't know what they're doing. We in the Western Cape, we're taking care of this. 7 years later, they still only have the Steenbras Dam, which is a dam that's existed for a very long time. Make no mistake, the DA didn't build this dam, they inherited it. They simply maintain it. And thanks to this dam, it generates electricity that allows the DA to lower electricity by at least one stage. But with the influx of semigrants into the Western Cape, the Steenbras Dam isn't going to be able to lower the stages of electricity by one for long. Within a few years, Steenbras isn't going to be able to do it. We're now only finding out that the DA has put massive plans in place that by 2024, it's going to completely be off the Eskom grid. But you've known about this since 2016. Why was nothing happening? Why didn't you start planning then? Why didn't you start giving out tenders then? Why weren't you taking action then? We're told continuously how the Western Cape is just ahead of every other city in the country when it comes to fighting load shedding. Well, congratulations. You're the one less retarded kid in the retarded school. That doesn't mean much. You're still fucking retarded. Nothing's changed there. You can at least speak rather than just make noise. But nothing's changed here, DA. You have done nothing. You've spoken a lot, but you've done nothing. And now, suddenly at the start of 2023, now you're taking the government to court and you're marching to Luthuli House not because you give a fuck or because you can change anything. No. It's because for the first time in the history of this country's democracy, you smell blood in the water. For the first time ever, it is now politically expedient for you to stand up, to march, to take the government to court. Previously, you would have done those things, and yes, perhaps you would have made the lives of the people better, but all that would have achieved is it would have gotten the ANC more votes. No, you had to wait for the ANC to completely implode, pull the rest of us down with it, and now you can act. Because, of course, now you're coming in and looking like the fucking saviors of our nation. People of South Africa, I need you to understand one thing. If it's a leader of a political party, if it's someone that works for a political party, if it's someone that's involved with a political party, it is a snake. It's not a human. It's not someone that can be trusted. It's not someone that can be respected. It's an evil being, and it's a thing that actually needs to be cast out like a cancer. Because the majority of ordinary people do not seek power, do not want power. If you go to the streets and you ask the majority of people, would you like to be president of the country? The vast majority would be like, nah, fam, I'm good. I have other things that I care about. I don't want to do that. The only people that will tell you that they do want to be leaders are the psychopaths and the sociopaths among us. Why? Because if you want power, which psychopaths and sociopaths want, you become a political leader. No one has more power than a political leader. It is a mafia. The only problem is we've legalized it. And we're seeing that play out in South Africa right now. Do not be fooled. The DA is better than the ANC. Sure, I'll grant you that. If you live in the Western Cape like I do, and you come from the rest of South Africa like I do, I grew up in Polokwane, I lived in Pretoria, and then I moved to Cape Town. I'll tell you this, it's a different world. It feels like you're living in Europe. Everything works. The street lights, all of them work. The streets, clean. There's constantly people cleaning up. I go to the beach every single day of my life after the gym. And every single morning, there are teams of people walking the beach, picking up the refuse, the plastic, cleaning out the bins, sweeping the sidewalks, making sure that the place looks nice and is clean. And this happens all year round. It's not just during like holiday time, all year round. So the DA does a good job of governing the Western Cape. But we're still on the national grid. They have still not solved the issues of load shedding. They're far too busy fighting in order to win political points. If we want to free ourselves, and I mean genuinely free ourselves, and this probably goes out to the rest of the world as well, we must, and actually, very interestingly, I can't remember who was asked this. It may have been Shakespeare, but, or actually it may have been Plato. I think it was Plato. They asked Plato, how would you solve the world's problems? And he said, first, kill all the lawyers. Or was it Shakespeare? One of those two. Can't remember. It's early. Why kill all the lawyers? Because that's what politicians are. Lawyers. If we want to solve our problems, first kill all the politicians. Get rid of them. All of our problems will go along with them. Because they are the reason for all of our problems. Do not fall for Mr. John Steenhuisen that thumps his chest, blah, blah. Fuck him. He's lying to you. He's not going to solve anything. Mr. Malema, promising you that he is the savior of the country, he's just as corrupt as the ANC. He will rob you blind in a heartbeat. The man's in it for himself. Gayton McKenzie, even a bigger mafia boss than any of the other ones, and, you know, that is saying something. None of these people can be trusted. None of these people are good. They're all evil. Fuck them. South Africa, if South Africa is going to heal, it's going to have to get rid of its government. Mark my words, that is the only way South Africa heals. As long as we have a government, as long as we have people in charge that can control us, and you have to think about this, how bonkers the system has become. Why are we called private citizens, and why are they called public servants? Private citizens are called private citizens because, technically speaking, we are private, which means the public servants may not know anything about us because we are private. But as private citizens, we should know everything about our governments. Everything that they do. Is there a country in the world that can say that that is true? No. We don't know anything about them, and they know everything about us. It's bonkers. It should never have happened this way. The fact that it has proves that we do not need them. Because no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, the evil will always find its way in. Why? Because people who are corrupt work a hell of a lot harder than those of us that are not. So to the DA, to Action SA, to Freedom Front Plus, to EFF, to the ANC, to all of the other 150 fucking political parties trying to skin the South African people, may I say, kindly, from the bottom of my heart, fuck you, kindly, and fuck off. Thank you. Pei, how you doing, bro? Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Master Joel, what about a direct democracy? Meaning? Sorry, guys. Just had to rant about that because it's been eating at me for a few days now, and I just could not keep it in anymore. In Cape Town, no, there's no potholes here. Twaki that I have, like I said, the DA does a very good job of governing. The problem is just that they could have helped solve this electricity problems or this electricity crisis probably long ago, but they wouldn't do it because there was no political capital to gain there. Master Joel, I would have no problem with that. My personal sort of the government that I would love is more an decentralized system, insofar as you have councils and every neighborhood has its own council, and the council makes the laws for that neighborhood, and then one member of the council serves on the municipality, and together they sort of figure out, you know, what they want the city to do. But the city doesn't make laws for the people that live in every neighborhood. The neighborhoods make their own laws, and that can definitely be run by just voting on your phone, right? Do you guys want to upgrade the roads here? Yeah, sure. Let's upgrade the roads. We'll pay for that, right? And basically, you have a far more direct system, one that isn't funded through taxes. Actually, yeah, I have so many thoughts on that. I have so many thoughts on that. But, you know, I'm not going to bore everyone with that because this could turn into a 4-hour fucking conversation about what my political system would ultimately look like. The one thing that I do not want and the one thing that I never want is a government. I don't believe that national governments are good, or federal governments in the case of the US. I think they're all evil. I think they're all bad. I'll dictate. Townport, I'm not talking about dictators. Everyone sort of always jumped to dictators, but I don't believe that dictators is the natural outflow of a decentralized system. In Estonia, you can vote online, hoping that comes here so that voting will not be dominated by people who will be dead in 20 years. This is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I actually believe that you should not be allowed to vote until the age of 30. I genuinely believe that people under the age of 30 should not be allowed to vote. Because I know how I was pre-30, even after 30, but, you know, during your 20s, you have some very bad ideas, and you are fucking stupid. No offense, you are. If you are 21 years old, you're a fucking moron. You believe things that isn't true. You have no evidence for the things that you do believe other than it makes me feel good. And the problem is you vote for people that say the things that you believe, even though the things that those people say would fucking destroy the country if they ever got into power. I think if you're under the age of 30, you should not be allowed to vote. Voting should go up to 30 because at least then you've had some time in the world. You've done your studies, so you've done the whole, you know, being reliant on other people's money. Now you're starting to earn your own money. You're starting to become your own person. And that's when you start to realize that, oh shit, life is not as easy as I want it to be. And also, I told you guys this story before, right? I have a friend who, very socialist. She's from the UK. She's Irish, actually. She lives in London. Very socialist, like super socialist. She believed in high taxes, taking from the rich, fuck them. You know, they can go screw themselves. You know, they should take care of the poor. And then, of course, she finished studying and she started working. And she is a something biologist, but she worked for a pharmaceutical company. And now she earns top dollar, right? She earns a shit ton of money. And suddenly she no longer likes the idea of paying 45 or whatever percentage of her money into taxes. She does not like it at all. Why? Because she works her fucking ass off in order to get that paycheck. She works from 7 o'clock in the morning to about 7 o'clock in the evening. She despises the fact that at the end of the month, the government takes almost half of her paycheck. She fucking hates it. And I just looked at her and I said, yeah, that's exactly the problem. It's easy to scream, give us other people's money when you have no money and it's not your money that's going to be taken. But once you start earning a living, that's when you get really fucking annoyed at other people getting to take your money and then you watch the government wasting it. Be fine with voting being for around 25, 65-year-olds. 25, I don't think. I think 25 is still too young. I look at myself. I was 25 not that long ago. And I was still a moron, you know? You go out, you get drunk every night or every weekend, and you have very little responsibility. So it's so easy for you to just believe in these stupid shit, right? That feels good. Because why wouldn't you want to do something that feels good? The problem is that those things never work, and you won't know how stupid those things are until you're a little older. I just quickly want to listen to a voice note here. Might be important. Give me 2 seconds. It wasn't important at all. I just wasted time. Anyways, actually, I think it's still the case. I'm 26, and yeah, I have quite better view now, but I don't know how much truth be said. Traxeton, just keep an eye on it. Wait until you're 35, then look back on your life and look at how your views have changed over the course of time, and you'll realize just like how stupid you were versus how I think when you're under the age of 30, you should focus on working, focus on building your life for yourself, focus on your job, you know, do all of those things, but you're still a kid. You don't get to vote. You don't get to like involve yourself in politics, involve yourselves in life. You only get to do that once you're over the age of 30. So once you've settled in, once you've started to make a contribution to society, that's when you're allowed to cast your vote. We look back on my 20s and wonder how I didn't end up dead from all the crazy things I did. Shamanita, you and me both. You and me both. I'll tell you guys this much. There are numerous evenings in my life as a 20-year-old where I woke up the next morning and I wasn't quite sure how I got home. And I was flabbergasted by the fact that I was not in a car accident, because there are no public transport in South Africa. You drove to where you wanted to go. I'll say that much. phenomenon where people become more conservative as they grow older. So I don't know if age should be used to push social issues. Master Joel, that's not... I don't believe that people become more conservative as they become older. I think people become more realist as they become older. You see, when you're young, you have this idealist mindset. You have this ideal of what you want the world to look like, but you have no real knowledge of how the world operates and functions. You have no idea. You just want things because it sounds good and it makes you feel good, and, who cares? As you get older, you become more realistic. It's not about, because ultimately, what conservatism is realism. I'm not talking about like the Republican Party, because I don't view the Republican Party as conservative. I'm talking about genuinely just conservatism. It's about realism. It's about, this is the world, this is how the world operates, and that is it. This is why conservatives have sort of always needed liberals, because liberals are the ones that push forward. Conservatives are the ones that says, hold up, don't push too fast. If you push too fast, things may break. And the two need each other to sort of keep in check, right? So the liberals want to push things forward. The conservatives say, hold on, before you push too fast, let's just make sure that this stuff doesn't break in our push to the future. So the two need each other. But conservatism is a hyper-realism on what the world is and the realities of our world. And that's what happens as you grow older. You become more realist. You start to look at the world and realize that, hold on, this is not exactly how things should be. This is actually how things are. And there's not much we can do to change that without destroying the system in and of itself. And that's oftentimes what at least young people don't realize. Young people want to destroy the system and, restart it all. That can't happen, because that would be devastating. What we need is a machine overlords. All hail the machine intelligence. Nikki, how you doing, bro? Donnie, how you doing? Traxton, Big Man and Slapper, how you guys doing? If they need each other, then are you not saying we need young people? No, because there are older people that are liberal as well. I consider myself to be incredibly liberal. The only part where I am conservative in my life is economics. On social issues, I am incredibly liberal. I couldn't give two fucks who you fuck or whose dick you suck or whose dick you won't suck. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't have anything to do with my life. There are plenty of older people that are very liberal in a lot of their views. The difference is just when I talk to a very conservative person and they go, oh yeah, we shouldn't have this, I don't scream at them and tell them that they're Nazis or Hitler or whatever. I listen to why they say that this can't happen, and I go, okay, maybe you have a point. So how can we do this whilst still not getting to where you think we're gonna go? Right? So let's work together. Let's try and figure this out, because I'm sure we could find a middle ground to where what you are afraid of that will happen doesn't happen, but we still get some semblance of normality and some semblance of acceptance for this group of people, right? And ultimately, that's important. Young people don't view the world that way. I know, because I was young not that long ago. I'm still probably quite young, but I was very young not that long ago. And I will tell you now, I wanted to destroy the system. I wanted to smash it to pieces. And so did every one of my friends. We looked at the system and we only saw the faults. We only saw the flaws. We only saw the brokenness of it. And we were convinced that we have all of the answers. And I will tell you this for fucking naught. You can have this advice for free. Anyone that promises you that they have the answers is probably very bad idea to trust them. Because throughout history, every single leader that have promised you that they have found the answer have lied through their fucking teeth. Master Jal, you are being very selective in your memory, my friend. So what? Only the conservatives? The conservatives aren't the ones that want to try and find a middle ground with liberals? Are you sure about that? Are you sticking with that? That's your sticking point. That's the one where you're going, yeah, fuck them. Because under Bush, the Republicans were still very much trying to work with the Democrats. They were working together. Of course, they were working together to fuck over the American people, but they were still working together. Obama was the first president in the US that basically told the conservatives to go fuck themselves. Every policy that Obama passed was anti-conservative. Even though the conservatives didn't want it, Obama was like, yeah, fuck you. We'll do an executive order here. No one's going to stop me. I'm going to do what I want to do because that's what I believe is the right thing. So all conservatives did is they started to clap back. And now America is in a massive fucking bind. Because yes, liberals will do what liberals do, fuck the conservatives. Conservatives will do what the conservatives do, fuck the liberals. And no one seems to be working together. And Biden isn't better. Biden is not better. Everyone that says that Biden is this great peacemaker and he's trying to work with both sides, nah fam. Listen to every single one of his speeches. In every single one of his speeches, he calls the conservatives some kind of name, some kind of evil, and then he goes out and he says, oh, of course, I'm not talking about all the conservatives. There are some conservatives that's good, you know, and those are the people that we should be working with. Well, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Conservatives working with us while not being in power? Master Joel, give me an example of where the liberals worked with the conservatives while not being in power. Just don't do that. Don't play party politics with me, fam. Because I'm not part of either of these fucking parties. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I don't give a fuck. I hate the Democrats and the Republicans equally. And I will tell you now, when Democrats sit there and try to pretend like they're the good people, I want to fucking puke. I want to fucking puke. Because the Democrats, in my opinion, is super evil. Like, to the extent of on par with some of the most evil people in the world. And the conservatives or the Republican Party, not the conservatives, the Republican Party is the same. They just don't realize it. You effectively have Hitler and Stalin yelling at each other, trying to figure out who is the most evil of the two, whilst killing millions of people in their fucking wake. What I don't like is the fact that so many fucking Democrats, like, this is actually something that I do want to bring up. Do you know how many ex-Republicans I meet that despises the Republican Party, can't fucking stand the Republican Party, will not vote for anyone because they no longer trust the Republican Party? I barely meet a single Democrat that does the same thing. The Democrats are all in on the Democratic Party. The liberals are all in. Yeah, fuck it. Yes, they're evil, but I'm gonna vote for them still because I trust them. It's all the Republicans' fault. Everything is the Republicans' fault. At least on the side of the Republicans, the conservatives have started to wake up and realize, oh shit, these guys are fucking evil. These people that are running us, that are supposed to stand for us, are fucking evil. I don't want to vote for these people. They're warmongering assholes. I don't see the same thing from Democrats. When I speak to a Democrat, their default position is, we're the army of God. We're the good guys. The Republicans are the evil ones. We're the good guys. And it's astounding to me. It's astounding that Democrats will not open their eyes and realize that they're not the good guys. You want to know what is actually mind-boggling? Democrats are fleeing places like New York and Los Angeles and California, going to places like Texas and Florida, and yet still do not realize just how bad the ideas of the Democratic Party is. And I'm not saying that I'm particularly fond of the Republicans in Texas or in Florida. I'm just saying, right, you flee because you're like, oh, this place is just fucked. Let's go to Florida and let's just keep voting blue. Because Surely it wasn't the Democrats' fault that New York became a shithole. Surely it wasn't the Democrats' fault that California became a shithole, right? It must be some other reason. It's the ocean. There's ocean people that come out and just fuck up our employment and fuck up our streets and give drugs to all the homeless people. It's not our governor. Surely not. It's wild to me. It's wild to me. At least when I speak to conservatives, they've given up on their party. They've given up on the Republican Party. They know the Republican Party doesn't stand for them. I just want the liberals to realize that the Democratic Party does not stand for you. Donnie, of course that's going to happen, right? They've given up on the party to worship Trump. Most of all, I think you're completely fucking wrong. Everyone is so wrong about why so many conservatives moved towards Trump. It's not Trump. It's because Trump is the one guy that wants to smash the system. I can tell you now, I have spoken to more conservatives that voted for Trump begrudgingly. Not because they like the guy. Begrudgingly, for one reason only. They believe that he might just fucking smash the system to pieces. And that's all they're caring about right now, because the current system is oppressive as fuck. It's evil as fuck. It's the only thing. I tell you now, Trump does not have the power that you think he has. How do we know this? Because in the last election, every one of the leaders that Trump sort of endorsed lost. Which shows you that the majority of conservatives do not like Trump. What they want is an end to the system. That's all they give a shit about. I don't think Trump is as famous or as huge a movement as people make it out to be. What is a massive movement in the US are the people that have become disillusioned with the system, the people that have realized that you have a two-party system only for show. The Republicans and the Democrats are the same party, but for the stupid people, it looks like two. What do you think about the election fraud claims in the 2020 election? I mean, I don't think there's ever been a free and fair election in the history of the United States or any other country in the world, so I don't know. Was there widespread election fraud? I don't know. I didn't really follow it that much. I don't give a fuck. Please do not mistake my passion for actually giving a shit about the American system. The only way you would get me to care about the American system is if you invited me to blow it up. I'd be all in. Like, I'd be a part of that. Like, I'd buy the bombs. But no, as far as like mass election fraud, I don't know. Maybe, obviously. I mean, it's an election. Politicians are powerful people. That's all they give a fuck about is power. So of course, someone cheated somewhere. I don't know who. I don't know for what reason, but yeah, sure. I think that happens in every country. I do not think that we've had a true democratic leader probably for the last 100 years, right? The Dark Lord, yeah. But it's not the USA that I want to move to. I've always been very specific. I want to move to Texas. I don't believe the USA is a real country. I don't. I think the USA is fooling itself. It's not a country. It isn't. If you can explain to me how people that live in California and people that live in Texas can somehow live in the same country, I'll suck your dick. I will genuinely. I'll drop to my knees. I'll even fondle your balls. You have two people that do not agree on anything. Anything. And yet they're somehow part of the same country? And that makes no sense to me. So stop with the politics. I know you are on a roll right now, but please give me that lore speculation. Traxton, we'll get to it, bro. We'll get to it. The best part of this is the blue balls. When you can take half of what you are worth. I mean, she can do that in South Africa too, so nothing's going to change there. They use the same currency. The federal government has access to both states. It's not the same country. You guys aren't getting it. It shouldn't be. I am for the breaking up of America. I'm absolutely for it. I believe America needs a national divorce. And I think it needs it fast. Because if it doesn't get it, it's going to have a civil war. And then it's going to have a national divorce. I don't see America existing. I don't see the United States of America existing in 100 years. Terminology right? You fake DJ? Well, fuck you, Mike. Civilization is the only way for world peace. Master Joel, we've tried that and that did not work. Town Portal, you can dictate America. I'll give you the right. Globalization only works if all of the countries that's part of your globalized effort have the same values. It's the only way it works. And since not all countries have the same values, it doesn't work. You can't have a country like China that wishes to basically invade other countries in order to reestablish the one China government or the one China policy, trade with the rest of the world in an open, globalized sense. It just doesn't work. No, I don't know. I don't know. World peace will happen. You want to know how world peace happens? Aliens, bro. The second humanity finds an alien civilization, it'll be world peace on from that moment forward. Because suddenly we will all be united in our hatred for the aliens. Easy. That's just how it will go. We'll just be like, fuck these aliens, we're conquering them. Build the spaceships. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's gonna go. I don't think we'll ever have world peace. Glorious Reich, isn't that right? I don't necessarily I don't think globalization is the answer. I think to some extent rational nationalism is the answer. When I say rational nationalism, I do mean rational. Not the kind where you're nationalistic and basically trying to destroy other countries, because that's stupid. I mean rational, insofar as do what's good for your own country, including doing good for other countries, because that could be good for your country. Most people don't understand what that means. Nationalism isn't about destroying other countries at the or bettering your own country at the expense of other countries. It's about bettering other countries so that your country can ultimately benefit from that. So, for example, let's say South Africa was incredibly nationalistic. Would South Africa want to establish peace within the rest of Africa? Of course it would, because an Africa that has peace poses less of a risk to South Africa. It wouldn't want war and turmoil and strife and hunger and poverty within Africa, because that would not be good for South Africa. So it would set its policies in such a way that it actually helps the nations of Africa so as to help itself. It's rational nationalism, and no one has that, because no one has fucking rationality. Traxton, yes. Anyways, let's fucking move on from the politics. I'm bored now. It's been fun, guys. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm bored. Maybe we'll pick this up on a later date. I want to talk about WoW lore, because it's more interesting than this shit. At least with WoW lore, we know that it could be retconned at any point, right? So whatever we get angry at now won't last forever. They can actually change it, right? With the real world lore, not much we can do. The leaders will let us know when they want to change shit. Okay. Let me make sure I have everything set up in the way that it needs to be set up. Just want to make everything bigger so you guys can actually see it. All right, here we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have something huge to share with all of you today. And when I say huge, I want to make clear. I'm talking about pull your pants down, eyes open, mouth dropping, staring, huge. This breaks speculation in half of just about everything that we've done ever. It changes the entire origins of World of Warcraft from what we used to know to now basically proving a very long-standing speculation theory that we have had, but also throwing a massive wrench in the works. So before we get going, let's talk about what the established lore for World of Warcraft looks like. The Titans arrive on Azeroth and they find a planet that has 4 old gods on it. They then proceed to rip one of them, Y'Saraj, out of the planet and yeet him into the great beyond. This leaves a giant gaping wound inside Azeroth, causes the first sundering, and of course, eventually this would become the Well of Eternity. Now, before the old gods, or before the Titans arrived, we are basically informed that life was incredibly chaotic, incredibly evil, and that, sort of when the Titans arrived, they established peace, they established order, and they established life as it were. Now, of course, we do have information that suggests that that's not entirely truthful, and that's not entirely how it worked. The Andorus reports, as well as the edicts, all of that show that a lot of what happened in the early days of our universe, or specifically of our planet, is kept secret on purpose. We don't know why they keep it secret, but we do know that they do. And we know that there were heretics. There were actual Titan creations that did not agree with the keeping things secret part of the Titan Keepers and the Titans' plans. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go through the progress report Uldorus. Then we'll go through the edicts of the Prime Design. And then I'm gonna break your brain. And now would be the time to sit down, grab a drink, get comfortable. It's wild. Brother Loken, as you requested, I offered the following report on the progress towards our objectives. I am pleased to say that the halls of infusion are now operational. Though the work of imbuing order magic into the wellspring is only beginning, I remain optimistic that the process will prove effective. Already, we are detecting reduced levels of contamination. I hope your investigation into how Yogg-Saron compromised these living waters will yield answers. Now, of course, this is basically how Galakrond became Galakrond. Of course, no information is given as to why, after Galakrond drinks from this corruption of Yogg-Saron, he becomes the prime incarnate of decay. Or do we know? Hold on, it gets interesting. Once purification is complete, an additional benefit will be found in offering the infused water to dragonkind. By ingesting the water or causing their eggs to absorb its effects, it should be possible to keep even the most willful dragons aligned with the Titan's philosophies. Now, I know we've gone through this particular source, but of course, as more have now been revealed, it's always nice to take a bit of a look back. More has been revealed about the Titan's philosophies and also with this alignment thing. And as I said in my video yesterday, what's incredibly interesting is that the elemental forces, this includes the Joradan as well as the normal Protodrakes, despise the aspects because of the Titan interference. And if this does not read as mind control, I don't know what the hell does. It should be possible to keep even the most willful dragons aligned with the Titan's philosophies. In other words, even if the dragon doesn't want to go with us, the water should convince them otherwise. Our efforts to bring the proto-dragons in line have faced resistance, but I am formulating a strategy to speed the process along. Construction of the facility atop the halls of infusion is proceeding apace. Though the station is to be designated Uldorus, I must reluctantly report that the dragons have taken to calling the structure by the name Tierhold. I will do my best to ensure our Titan-forged workforce does not also adopt this embarrassing pseudonym, but as of late, they seem to be expressing more and more opinions of their own. Interesting. The origins of humanity. In other words, the Keepers and the Titan Forge themselves started to gain more and more free will. In closing, let me underscore once again how fervently I disagree with the assertions of Prime Designate Odin concerning the unsuitability of the dragon aspects. I have every confidence that they will prove fervent allies in our shared goals of keeping the world structured and disciplined. Ever your friend, Keeper Tyr. And then of course we switch to the edicts of the Prime Designate. Keepers, it has been brought to my attention that, as of late, many of you have become fascinated by the emergence of mortal beings. That is, creatures born of flesh rather than that crafted of stone and steel like our loyal Titanforged. While my initial impulse was to eradicate these aberrations before they evolved further, I now believe they may prove useful if properly controlled. Guys, if you still believe that the Titans are good, you're off your mind. I don't know how you can look at this, how you can read this. He calls us aberrations. Why? Because creatures born of flesh does not control easy. Creatures born of flesh has free will. We have the ability to go where we want to go, do what we want to do, and we do not answer to the Titans. And that is a problem. Yet, even as we guide their development according to the edicts of the Titans, we must always remember that mortal minds are destined to be small and incapable of complex understanding. Therefore, as your Prime Designate, I must establish a few minor but necessary regulations to govern your interactions with these nascent beings. Is anyone else getting a little angry at the way that fucking Odin is speaking about us? Like, surely I'm not the only one that is getting a little annoyed at Odin's not just mistrust or distrust, but his complete disregard for who we are and the open mind control discussions that is taking place. First, all historical records documenting the advancements of the Black Empire are to be purged. Advancements. This isn't just the Black Empire and what it built. Advancements. In other words, progress that the Black Empire had made. The world that the Black Empire was must be purged from all records. Why? Why did they need it purged? Perhaps because it wasn't at all what we are told it was? Paint that age as one of chaos and misery, a pernicious blight that we keepers eradicated. With the old gods locked in confinement, there should be no evidence available to contradict our assertions. Literally, in that goddamn sentence, oh my lord, to anyone that still holds on to this, the Titans, this sentence, paint that age as one of chaos and misery, a pernicious blight that we keepers eradicated, and let there be no evidence available to contradict our assertions. In other words, it wasn't an age of chaos and misery, as we've been told. Not even close. Surely, if you care for these mortals, you would not wish to see them led astray into darkness. But he doesn't care for us. He calls us aberrations. He says that our minds are small and that we can only ever truly exist whilst being controlled. He doesn't care. Second, attribute all accomplishments and works of wonder to the Titans alone. Despite the relentless arguments made by some of you, this is not a fallacy. After all, can anything truly be said to exist until it has been ordered? Of course not. So in other words, it is possible that everything that exists within our universe was created by the old gods during the days of the Black Empire. From the Emerald Dream all the way through to the elemental planes, the elemental lords, and everything that comes with it, nothing was actually created by the Titans. It was only ordered by the Titans. And of course, in this sense, the more and more we read about the Titan Keepers and the more and more we learn about the Titan Keepers, ordered is another word for controlled. In other words, put in a box and assured then that it will only ever operate in this one small avenue and leave no room for anything else. Therefore, it is irrefutable that the Titans are the source of all creation. Third, do not share knowledge of the first ones. Mortals could not conceive of the wonders that the Makers granted to the Titans in Zereth Ordis. Thus, learning of the progenitors would only confuse them. It is enough that mortals know the Titans brought order to the cosmos, and that they are owed deference. Dude, the Titans literally convinced us that we exist only because of their benevolence. And if it wasn't for their benevolence, we would not have existed. We would have been destroyed. Can you trust anything? While some among you would prefer to argue these points further, such debate can no longer be tolerated. Dude, the second people start shutting down debate, you know some evil shit is about to happen. I remind you that I speak with the authority of the Titans, and any further dissent may cause me to question whether you have succumbed to outside influences. Remember, life is chaos. It must be controlled. Your leader, Prime Designate Odin. Life is chaos. It must be controlled. Okay, are you ready to have your brain break? This, by the way, is from the Ordering, the Old Gods and the Ordering of Azeroth. It's this book here. The Old Gods and the Ordering of Azeroth, annotated. And Ryan was kind enough to share this with us. So, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because this gets wild. The Pantheon shattered the Old Gods' citadels and chained the 5 evil gods far beneath the surface of the world. 5! We have only ever speculated. Now, this book comes from the libraries of Deathwing or Neltharion himself. Neltharion, we know, was obsessed with Titan knowledge. He sent agents out into the world to find the records of the Titans. This is from his personal library. The Pantheon shattered the old gods' citadels and chained the 5 evil gods far beneath the surface of the world. 5, not 4, 5. Remember what I said? In the beginning there were 4 old gods. This is what the Titans had told us. It was Cthulhu, Yogg-Saron, Yisaraj, and N'Zoth. 4. This says 5. 5 old gods were bound. Without the old gods' power to keep their raging spirits bound to the physical world, the elementals were banished to an abyssal plane where they would contend with one another for all eternity. With the elementals' departure, nature calmed and the world settled into a peaceful harmony. The Titans saw that the threat was contained and set to work. A note has been scribbled on the page. Fools! The power of the elements was not so easily contained, nor could they bind the influence of the old gods. The peace the Titans offered came only through oppression. This is from Dragonflight Legend. Without the old gods' power to keep their raging spirits bound to the physical world. So in other words, the old gods and the elemental lords may be far closer related than we have ever thought. To read me bedtime stories tonight? Cattle Groper, how you doing, fam? Just look at look at how this is laid out. The peace the Titans offered came only through oppression. Deathwing, during Dawn of the Aspects, far below the earth, inside a cavern consisting of the blood of N'Zoth, says to Thrall that Thrall does not understand the evils the Titans have visited upon this world, and that he will not rest until he has seen every creation of the Titans smashed to bits. That's what Deathwing says. The old gods and whoever wrote this note, clearly did not view the interference of the Titans as benevolent. It wasn't good. What the Titans had done was evil. And can you, in any way, shape, or form, tell me that that's not true? If you read the edicts of the Prime Designator, we see that Odin believes that we are not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough of understanding the truth, and that we must be lied to, that we must be told that the old gods were evil, and that all that there was chaos and death and destruction during the days of the Black Empire. And that under no circumstances must anyone ever deny that everything that exists on Azeroth was created by the Titans. And then here we learn that by their very first words to us, they have lied. There are not 4 old gods. There are 5, but it gets even worse. The Pantheon shattered the old god citadels and chained the 5 evil gods far beneath the surface of the world. That's not true. We are told that Yisaraj was ripped out of Azeroth. But according to this, the 5 evil gods were all chained beneath the surface of the earth. Could it be that Y'Shaarj never died? After they ripped him out, they realized that he is still not dead, and that he is now corrupting or bleeding corrupting magics all over Azeroth, and then they shoved him into his own prison far beneath the earth simply to get him out of the way. Prison Y'Shaarj is at the bottom. Maybe. Or maybe there is something far more powerful, even further below Y'Shaarj, the unnamed old god. The one old god that we know nothing about. The one old god that outside of speculation, we have never known anything about. My bet, my money, is what D-Rocker said. I believe that the old gods are a natural entity tied to Azeroth. I no longer believe the stories of the Void Lords flinging pieces of themselves into the great beyond and thereby creating old gods. I believe the old gods are creations of actual titans. Here's the thing. The Titans tell us that they are nascent world souls, and that is how they were born. Is it possible that that is complete bullshit, especially now that we know that there is a place called Zereth Ordis? And that's where the Titans were born? Not as nascent world souls. In other words, the Titans that we know, Aman'Thul, Sargeras, are not the same as Azeroth. Azeroth, Argus, all of these beings are beings that is different from the Titans. They are not Titans. Yeah, I mean, Aman'Thul and those guys are literally just constructs. They were made inside Zereth Ordis, as they themselves admit. Not gonna lie to you, but this is huge. This is probably the biggest lore drop we have ever had in World of Warcraft ever. And I mean, it's bigger than the Whispers of the Old Gods. Not even the Whispers of the Old Gods get close to this. This confirms a 5th old god. This confirms that most likely Y'Shaarj is still alive. I did put out a tweet where I basically asked Steve Denuser if this is a typo, if they perhaps made a mistake. Because if they didn't make a mistake, if this really is what it says, it changes everything in World of Warcraft. 100% everything is different now. Congratulations. Oh. Oh. So the Pantheon of Death are actually with the Forces of Order? Yes, they're all part of the same force. Van Onkerton, you bastard, with 100 bits. Really appreciate that, fam.
Had a bath while watching Echo just to spite him. Have some biddies, for I'm a generous and benevolent god. Vote for Titans and don't listen to weird conspiracy theories.
Van Onkerton, yeah, you would say that, wouldn't you? Thanks for the 100 bits, bro. Moser, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. You need everyone to believe that this Titan is evil, right?
Him. Have some biddies, for I'm a generous and benevolent god. Vote for Titans and don't listen to weird conspiracy theories.
I'm sorry, but this blows my fucking mind. When I read this morning, I was blown away. The First Sky Knight, thanks for the follow, bro. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, I would love to not even debate Steve Denuser. I would just love to talk to Steve Denuser. because this shit is wild. Positive result from your meeting with the electricians yesterday? Meant the fan? Yes. They're installing it tomorrow. It's being installed tomorrow. Thank you. Alright, boys. I quickly have to edit this. I apologize. I know that most of you don't give a shit about this, but I don't have time later because my power's going out. So, what time is it for you, Akko? Right now, it's 9:30. Why did... Oh, shit. First Sky Knight with the tier 1 sub, dude. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Thank you, fam. Very much appreciate that. Okay, let's think of a title. Finally here, after so long just watching you on YouTube, I can finally ask, why in the name of sanity has no one ever suggested for you to watch the 2 Lord Inquisitor shorts by Warp Gazer? I don't know. People suggest stuff over on Reddit, and I just watch it there for Sky Knight. Like, whatever people suggest on Reddit and what people vote for on Reddit is usually what I react to. Although we've been sort of slacking on Reddit, so I should probably put more effort into reacting to some Reddit stuff. But hopefully as soon as we have the electricity problem sorted out, we'll be able to react to a lot more shit in the future. I'm sure someone did. We can quickly check, although this is a fucking long list. But I'm sure someone must have. And if someone hasn't, you're welcome to go and do it yourself. Just suggest the video, and people will upvote it if they want to watch it. Primals keep dying. Last bastion of anarchy. Shit. Can Sigmar beat the God Emperor of mankind? Caiaphas Cain. The only Sith the dark side of the Force hated? Shit. Okay, there's so many videos that we have to watch. We have to fucking get into this. We've already reacted to this, so just get that one out of the way. We've reacted to that. But for now, let's quickly edit this video. So what's a good title, do you guys think? Let's do spoiler. Oh shit! First Sky Knight with the 5 community subs. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get some hearts in chat? 5 new babies born for the DJ Nation. Appreciate that, fam. Thank you. You're far too kind, sir. Pog, thanks for the say. Oh yeah. You underestimate how much I have been watching this channel. First Sky, I really appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. I love that you guys are enjoying the channel and that, you know, you like the reactions and stuff. I really hope that once we get the battery and inverter installed, we can actually get back to, like, proper. Because I have so many things that I want to do. I want to play all of the Warhammer games. Not all of them. Probably not Dawn of War 3. But I want to play Dawn of War 1 on stream. I want to play Dawn of War 2 on stream. I want to play Chaos Gate on stream. Like, there's so many things that I want to do within the Warhammer universe, as well as just react to all Warhammer videos that there is, because I love this universe, and I absolutely fucking enjoy it. The problem is just right now, I'm constantly running against time. New... Just changed Spoiler, huge new Dragonflight lore changed. The complete history of WoW. Let's see if that title is gonna work. I don't know if that title is gonna work at all, fam. We can try, but I don't think it will. There's a good chance this title is just too convoluted. Spoiler, huge new Dragonflight lore changed the complete history of WoW. 45 intellectual score, that's not bad. No, it's my whole country for Sky Knight. It's my entire country that deals with the same thing. Like, there's literally not a single place in the country you can go where you won't deal with this. So, I have a battery and inverter. It's being installed tomorrow. Can't fucking wait, bro. Let's try something before we go, D-Rocker. Before we go with yours. Let's just go spoiler. This just changed the complete history of WoW. No, it's fine, bro. I don't mind people being sarcastic at all. Let's try yours, D-Rocker. Let's try yours. We can try and remove the spoiler tag. Let's see. 37. I mean, our original one is still better than that, right? 40%. Ooh. Intellectual and empathetic. Pretty good mix, I think. This isn't bad. The only thing that I worry about with this specific title, spoiler, huge new Dragonflight lore changed the complete history of WoW, right? What if we did... Hold up. I have a fucking idea. No. No, that doesn't do shit. What if we did? Let's see. Let's do that. We say huge spoiler. And then we say new lore. New lore drop. New lore just changed the complete history of WoW. 45%. What if we did spoiler 40%? What if you removed spoiler? 44%. So spoiler 45%. Fuck. Because makes people not want to click it? Yeah, probably. I mean, spoiler, huge new Dragonflight lore changed the complete history. If we go just off of this one, I think this is the highest score we got. 45.45, right? I don't know if spoiler warning would really make a difference, because all of this is based on power words, right? Power words are these words. Spoiler, for example, is a power word. Huge is a power word. Changed is a power word. Complete is a power word. New is a power word. So effectively, what you're doing is you're highlighting words that pulls people towards a title, right? So people want to know. They can't help themselves. As soon as they read these words, they need it. They need to know what it is. It sort of plays on the emotions of people. So that's sort of what you want to dive into and what you want to try and convince people of. You're constantly trying to clickbait people, but of course I'm trying to clickbait people in such a way that it isn't just pure clickbait. That's usually what I try to do. I want to keep it, because I'm not lying here. It really does change everything. The problem is just, I already have this changes everything we thought we knew. Because again, it's true. This does change everything we thought we knew. But now we also have a new thing that changes everything we thought we knew. Fuck! God damn it! Yes, exactly. What if we did spoiler? Biggest old god lore reveal ever. We have been lied to. Is lied to that two? Does it have two O's or one O? Just one. Okay. No. Okay, so just lied to. When does two have two O's? Like, I know too much, for example, has two O's. Too little would have two O's. So basically, when you're not going towards something, instead you're explaining what something would. You're describing the state of something. So when you describe the state of something, two would have two O's. Whereas if you're talking about going somewhere or referring to something, that would have one O. What deals do you think Ridicron made? Oh, sincere. Holy shit. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure Old Gods. I'm pretty sure the Old Gods are fundamentally involved. Rodeo, I think I have an idea for the thumbnail. We'll just have to see. followed Walor since Wrath of the Lich King, but every time I come here, I hear Akko say we have been lied to. Jumbo, because we have been lied to. But I'm gonna stick with this title because it at least works. At the very least, it works. But the old god is most likely Xal'atath. The way she speaks is more of her being part of the group and not distance from it. Maybe. Or Azeroth. Because Xal'atath does speak about the Masters. Xal'atath clearly served the other old gods. And it was N'Zoth that freed her. If she was the 5th old god, why would she need N'Zoth? Right? I didn't say that. The first guy, I like that. I like that. It's almost as bad as all fucking governments. If we're gonna be honest here. Like, they're all liars and thieves and fucking pieces of shit. I think Azeroth is... I think the old gods belong to Azeroth. I think they are born of Azeroth. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have something huge. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something huge to share with all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something huge to share with all of you today. And when I say huge, I want to make clear. I'm talking about pull your pants down, eyes open, mouth dropping, staring huge. This breaks speculation in half of just about everything that we've done ever. It changes the entire origins of World of Warcraft from what we used to know to now basically proving a very long-standing speculation theory that we have had. Yes, indeed. I agree with myself here. Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, let me just quickly finish this, because I'm not going to have time once the power goes to do this. Sad as that might be. Changes the entire origins of World of Warcraft from what we used to know to now basically proving this is very long-standing speculation. This is definitely not proper editing. The first guy, I'm literally just sort of rushing through this because I don't have time. Like, if I wanted to properly edit this video, I would need... I probably need like 2 hours. I don't have 2 hours. If I had 2 hours, that'd be great. But my power's going out before then, so I'm basically just trying to at least get it done so that I can get it up. No, why am I unlinking this? I don't want to unlink it. Remind me to next time remove that shit. So I don't have to continuously redo this crap. Luckily, I'm updating the Patreon list. 5th? Yeah, 3 days. Aligned with the Titans' philosophies. In other words, even if the dragon doesn't want to go with us, dude, you're allowed to hate on them. I hate them too, so don't worry about that. I've made a few videos today shitting on my government for this issue, so it's all good. Wish to see them led astray into darkness. Grover, how you doing, fam? Possible for you to move to another country so you don't have to deal with the power BS? I mean, it's always possible, right? The problem with moving to another country is very expensive, number one. And moving from South Africa is actually much harder than what most people think. At least, yeah. Because remember, South Africa, the passport that we have in South Africa is piss poor, right? We have a passport that really isn't trusted by the rest of the world. So most countries in the world don't just allow South African citizens to sort of waltz into their countries. So if I wanted to move to, say, for example, America, if I don't have a degree, and the world settled into a peaceful harmony. Since the only way to really move easily is marriage. I know a few people that's done that, or at least that's trying to do that. 22. I think we go back to 22. Let's do it here. That should be fine. Feel so bad for having to rush these videos, man. You have no idea. Because I would love to do like this video with proper B-roll and shit. And I mean, it's bigger than the Whispers. Yeah, Lazy Peon lives in Thailand. Not even the Whispers of the Old Gods get close to this. This confirms a 5th Old God. This confirms that most likely Yasiraj is still alive. I did put out a tweet where I basically asked Steve Denuser if this is a typo. If they perhaps made a mistake. Because if they didn't make a mistake, if this really is what it says, it changes everything in World of Warcraft. 100% everything is different now. Congratulations. Oh. Oh. Yep. Dude, I'm so excited. Whenever something changes, I get excited. The opacity and this minus 75 and this goes to 0. Let's just quickly see. They didn't make a mistake. If this really is what it says, it changes everything in World of Warcraft. 100% everything is different now. Congratulations. Yeah, I know a lot of people go to Mauritius to buy citizenship in Mauritius. There's a few countries that South Africans can buy citizenship. I don't have the money to afford that. If I was a millionaire, maybe. Like, I could move to the US tomorrow. One big problem would be I need $1 million. Like, that's how much I have to invest into the US in order to get a visa. What if Azeroth is the legendary clockmaker asleep in planet form? Dark Lord, I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I really hope that it isn't, because I don't like the idea of Azeroth being the clockmaker. I don't know, that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't think the clockmaker should ever be revealed to us. I think the clockmaker should just always be this, you know, pie in the sky sort of thing. I don't think the clockmaker should ever be a thing that we sort of, you know, we're informed about. It should instead just be a thing that it is there. Sometimes things may happen that we could attribute to the clockmaker, but it should never be. It should be an unseen force, sort of like the unseen hand that writes and that can influence the story. This used to be Elune. Like, Chris Metzen used Elune in a very similar fashion. She was the unseen hand. So whenever something needed to happen, but you couldn't really find a good lore way of having that happen, you couldn't find a good character that could actually make that happen and would be believable, you could just use Elune. And Elune would be the one to make this happen. Why? Because no one knew anything about Elune. Elune was a thing, it was an entity, but it was so unknown that Elune could do everything and nothing. It didn't really matter. And it's... You need something like that in almost all stories. You need a thing or an entity. In Warhammer 40k, for example, the Chaos Gods serve this purpose. The Chaos Gods is this entity that, while yes, a lot is known about them, due to how they were set up, they can pretty much do anything, right? And nothing can be stopped as a result of them, right? There's nothing in the universe that isn't possible thanks to their existence. And this is what I think the clockmaker should be. This being that's just sort of there. It exists, we don't know anything about it, and that's good. If the story is good, I don't think you need an unseen force to fill in the gaps. The universe is harder, that is. The problem is that even if your story is good, with ongoing stories, so you don't need a force like that with a universe that has an end. So a universe that has a start, middle, and end, you don't need that. But with ongoing universes like Warhammer 40k, like World of Warcraft, when you don't have a force like that, what do you do when you start running into complications later down the road? So 10 years ago, you came up with a storyline, and that storyline was really good 10 years ago, but now you have a new storyline that you would love to explore, but that storyline would completely contradict what you wrote 10 years ago. Well, if you're not going to have a character or an entity that can influence the story in a metaphysical way, you can't run that storyline no matter how cool that storyline would be. That entity gives you the ability to run that storyline and simply blame that entity for whatever happened to allow for that storyline to play out. You don't need it, but it does make your life a hell of a lot easier as a writer. Yeah, I don't mind it. As long as it's used sparingly, or if you're going to continuously use it, there's always a good reason for the use of it. I don't think the existence of that entity is the problem. I think the usage of that entity can sometimes be a problem for people. Because you do have times where people will use an entity like that, what I call the unseen element of the story. People will use the unseen element in a way that's just completely wrong. Or they'll use it so often for so many bonkers things that the player loses interest or trust in the narrative of the story. Good point. You should write for... Wait, didn't you mention in a previous video that you're writing a 40k fanfic? I'd like to read that when it's done. I'm writing a couple of things, actually. I'm writing a World of Warcraft sort of cinematic, animatic story kind of thing that it's one of my Patreon goals is if we ever reach $5,000 a month on Patreon, I want to hire a couple of animators and I want to make a proper World of Warcraft movie. it's not so much that I'm writing a story or a fanfic for 40k. I'm more writing an origin story of the Emperor. Because I think I might know. But when I say I'm writing it, it's I never write it for other people to read. I might release it at some point. But I usually I write it very roughly, just so that I understand it. Like if you read the notes, you would not have a fucking clue what I'm writing. Because I'm just sort of I'm scribbling stuff down in a way that I would know exactly what I'm talking about. Because that's how I'm thinking about it. I'm not writing it as a story. Maybe I could. I've always wanted to try and write. I don't know if I'll be good at it or not, but I've always wanted to try. I think it'd be cool being a writer. Plus, nowadays, with how easy it is to release books, it's probably worth trying, no? Yep. For sure, I know the feels, man. You know, you can do that, but again, you are always going to run into... There's always going to be with continuous stories. This is why I'm never okay with the crowd that says no retcons ever. Because with continuous stories, you cannot not have retcons. It's not possible. It's the easy part. Marketing it yourself is the pain in the ass. I've been struggling for a while now to do so. Barbert. Holy shit, dude. Send me a link to your book on Discord. If it's a good book, I'll fucking market it for you, man. I'll tell people to read it. No problem. I mean, and I don't want to release books because I want to make millions of dollars. I mean, I can literally just talk about the book in my videos. Just tell people, hey, I've released this new book. Go read it. And hey, even if I just sell 1,000 copies, that's still cool, you know? Computer AI, it won't have that human weakness. True. I'm okay with a retcon if it benefits the overall future of the universe and potential for good content. Voice TV, I 100% agree with you. My problem is that there's so many people in World of Warcraft. Like, let me put it to you this way. There's so many people in World of Warcraft that have this idea that there may be no retcons ever, ever, ever. And what they don't seem to understand is when you have a universe that expands multiple decades, multiple years, multiple eras, and the story is never ending. In other words, there will never be a moment where this story is done, you know, all things being equal. There is no way that you cannot have retcons at some point. It's almost required because the way you write now is not going to be the same in a decade from now. You're going to think up new stories, new ways of having that story told, and there's going to have to be some mechanism through which you can retcon some of the things you wrote 10 years ago. This is just guaranteed how it has to be. Rules, pillars or foundations, which you should never change, but other pieces can be moved around without crumbling the overall structure. Of course, there are ways in which retcons can be handled, and there are ways in which retcons shouldn't be handled. This is very true. Let's quickly do the thumbnail here. I don't know how to make this thumbnail. Maybe I have an idea. I might have an idea. Let's see. Let's quickly try this, see how it goes. We chose that eye, right? So everyone knows this is an old god eye, and we brought Odin forward. So if we brought Odin into the story, Odin NPC. Fuck. Should probably spell it correctly, right? Odin NPC. There we go. Is this old Odin or new Odin? This looks shit. I think I know why. Hold up. View in 3D. Took them 15 years to retcon fix Fall of Cadia and the 13th Black Crusade. Did they fix it though? 40k mechanism is great. Nothing in lore is 100% because it's all from perspective of the character. Lore can lie in the way that it is explained. Oh, Nikki, that's one of the main things I love about Warhammer is the fact that all stories are told from the perspective of something. Right? So you never actually get lore, as it were. You don't get canonical lore. You get bits and pieces of perspectives and subjective stuff, which then means that you can literally do whatever the hell you want, right? No. How do I want him to appear? This is probably the best, right? This is probably as good as it's gonna get. Might be too big, but we'll see. Cut this off. I don't need all of this. Let him go roar? Yeah. I mean, we are talking about Odin here. So hopefully it's not too shit. Although Odin doesn't always get all the clicks, which is surprisingly fucking annoying. Because I think Odin is a very interesting character, but for some reason not everyone agrees. Although I may have to change the picture. This may not be the right picture to use for Odin. Okay, that fits in. Rowboat, Silly Man, how you doing, bro? Who's doing what? Who's doing a mobile Game icon? What? You know, this part. And if I could get WoW Model Viewer to work, this would be so much easier. I just don't know how the fuck people get WoW Model Viewer to work. This probably doesn't matter too much. Whoa, do I need his shoulders? Let's see if we can get away with not having his shoulders in the shop. If this looks stupid, I'm gonna fucking cry, man. Please don't look stupid. Please don't look stupid. Do you think all Odin's shoulders are required? Yeah. Fuck me. I hate his shoulders. Man, it's so big, man. It takes up all the fucking picture. But without the shoulders, he just looks shit. Maybe we can cut this off this way. Okay, let's do that. Make him nice and big and blow him up. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm honest with you. We're gonna have to get to the contrast in a second. Let's start working on the contrast, shall we? Convert to smart object, filter, camera raw filter. Yes, I hate when I do that. Colin, I wanted to mention something you said a while ago. You were saying you were worried about messing up 40k miniatures. I don't think that's even possible. You can do anything you want, and it's just your unique style. Example, a guy made a whole Cadian army, but out of orc gods who actually think they are human. They worship the emperor and everything, but a whole army of models that are grots in Imperium equipment is both amazing and hilarious to see. That actually sounds pretty cool. that does actually sound very, very cool. Vibrance. Bit of saturation. I mean, he looks silly, but it might look good overall. Let's see. Does that look like Odin? $2021 CCS? I don't want to use the others because it's too fucking difficult to get used to it. So I basically just stuck to this. I refuse to upgrade. Now we have to work on this old god eye. Give it a little exposure. Contrast goes way up. Shadows goes down. Whites go up. Blacks go down. Texture. Clarity. Dehaze. Saturation. And then optics. Let's go. Okay. We need him smaller. If there's one thing that I need to do is make Odin smaller. So we can actually see the old god eye behind him. The only thing that bothers me now is there enough difference there? I don't know how to do that, Yurek. You're starting to ask me things that I don't know how to do. So let's just do this quickly. Go other, high pass. Come on. Let's do a drop shadow. It's a bit big. Might have to make the drop shadow a bit larger. Like that. And you said you don't like the fact... What if we did a bit of a blur on it? So if we went Gaussian blur. How does that look? You can still see that there's an old god eye there, but Odin stands out a bit more now. The only thing I wish I could do was fucking remove the shoulder without it looking stupid. So that's literally the one thing I would so desperately want to do. You can. I mean... But that's problematic. For a number of reasons, right? Unless, of course, you could do it where he's much bigger. Then he's almost too fucking big. And now you can't see the eye, really? But you could move him more to the side. Like that. We don't have pictures of Y'Shaarj, D-Rocker. Otherwise, sure. See, but now I'm wondering if we... No, no, no. What the fuck? If I did... Oh, fuck me. Use the smudge tool. There. What do you think? I wonder if the Gaussian blur... If you remove the Gaussian blur, does that actually look better now? I want to see a picture, Discernment. Show me your army, please. It looks like it's looking at him. Kind of does. To an extent, yes. But sadly, I don't know how to make it look even better. Otherwise, that would have been perfect. But I don't know how to do that. Okay, now we just need words. We just need words. What the fuck? Okay, that's not gonna work. We'll just have to keep it like that. Wyvern, how you doing? So what do we write here, boys? What the fuck do we write? This is where we run into... Music playing? I have no idea what music is playing. It's called the Toreador? Yeah, the Toreador song. It's just classical music at the minute. Oh, shit. The first Sky Knight. Thank you so much for the gifted sub, bro. 6 subs already on the channel. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you. Hearts in chat, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. When a new baby is born in the DJ Nation, we say thank you. Hey, where's your fucking manners, boys? Toreadors from Carmen Bizet. Write out the big sentence, then encapsulates the whole of the vid, and then work from there. We've already done that. That's a good idea, though. But we have already done that. So the whole sentence is... Spoiler, huge new Dragonflight lore changed the complete history of WoW. And it gets a pretty decent score on Hateline Analyzer. You potentially don't want to use the same words in your title as you do in your thumbnail. If you were to use a sentence that encapsulates the video that isn't a clickbait sentence, the former vid you dropped, right? Yes. Although I don't think it does, because it is new lore from Dragonflight, and it does change the history of WoW. So I don't think it's too problematic. At least I hope it isn't too problematic. Although most people probably would be fine with it, because it is really cool, I think. Titan's Lied is played out, though. I mean, we've done videos like that before. Everyone kind of knows the Titan's Lied. What if we did? What if you kept it simple? Just like this. Now the question, of course, becomes... what color? But if we kept it like this? Huge lore reveal. So you kept it simple, and yet a lot of people will click on it because they would want to know, right? I mean, especially on this channel. Most of us love the lore, you know? See, I don't like the color, because this definitely doesn't jump out at you. Because it's basically the same color as everything else on the screen. Yeah, everything's fucking yellow. But most other colors don't work. Yellow works. That's the big problem. Green wouldn't work. You have to go with what the eye finds pleasing, and the eye tends to find yellow pleasing. We could definitely try a silverish white. Let's see. And then maybe... what do you think? Red tends to blend in as well. Don't worry, Yurak, I'm gonna screw it up quite a bit in a second, you'll see. Let's just rasterize this and then... That's how big people would see it on, King Julian, how you doing, bro? Try adding a bit of blue. Yeah, I'm thinking in terms of what people naturally rotate towards, which is important, because based purely on YouTube research, yellow works. People love yellow. It sounds silly, but there's a lot of colors on YouTube that just does not work. You want to go with yellow because that's the thing that pulls people in? King Julian, no, I don't have time for it. So yellow equals good. Yeah, yellow, people just see yellow and they go, oh, look at this. I need to click. Hot pink. I don't even know what the fuck color that is. Okay, you guys have seen the white one. Let's go back to... Like, if we went red and white, okay? So we went red and white. And we did the exact same thing. Rasterize it. Make it slightly smaller. Perspective change it. Pulled it down. Angled it. What do you think of that? Or should reveal be red? Which one do you think should be red? Does the red disappear a bit? Because from where I sit, it looks like the red disappears. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think we'll go with silver. Just like that. Astron, how you doing, fam? I mean, the other option that we have is to really fucking blow it up, right? Like, really make it big. You lose the background eye, but it does stand out a lot more. What's more important? This is a big question, because this is what makes or breaks. You can try, but usually those outlines, if you do different colors, yeah, they tend to just blend in. Obviously, we can make it smaller. See, they all destroy the fucking... They all destroy the words. Yeah, I generally don't do different colors just because they all tend to suck. But I never those outlines. Don't worry, this is a massive learning curve. You don't like the perspective, so you would prefer it just like this, and maybe... So instead of doing a perspective, just a slight twist like this and keep it as is, no perspective whatsoever. Maybe make it a little smaller. Just like that. Move it to the lower corner. Don't know. Don't know if the lower corner would work. Because people will automatically, I think, look top right-hand corner first, or left-hand corner first. Because we read from left to right. So I'm going to look top left-hand corner first, and then I'm going to scan over to the rest of the page. Let me just answer the phone. Never mind. Well, let's clip it and ship it. Let's just accept that this is now what it looks like. My Japanese audience. Do I have a Japanese audience, Jurek? I think you might be the, like, one of two people that's Japanese. I don't think I have a Japanese audience. Well, then why are you asking about my Japanese audience? If you're not Japanese, are you just trying to think on behalf of the Japanese people? I know we have one girl from Japan, Princess Melina. I know she's from Japan. Because she and someone else in chat constantly have conversations about Japan whenever they're in chat. But I'm not... I mean... I have no fucking idea. I don't think a lot of people from Japan watch my content. It's too bad we lost them all after the Great Wii Purge of 21. Yeah, sad days. But better off. Better off. You must echo? No. Japanese people will watch Japanese creators. Doesn't Japan also have their own version of YouTube, or do they watch normal YouTube like everyone else does in the world? Dark Lord, yeah, we think so too. Like, I'm 100% in agreement with you there. China has their own. Oh, there you go. So the Japanese are on our YouTube. They just don't really... I don't think they watch a lot of English. Like, how many people in Japan realistically speak English? Not the Japanese ones, the Chinese ones, King Julian. It's taught in almost all schools, Echo. Little to none. It's more like they understand somewhat. They don't speak it, but they understand it a lot better. And my time Echo, it's funny, like... you can get all the weebs back in a Nintendo Switch and stream kawaii shit. Well, why don't I just go on Steam and download some of those kawaii games? English teachers teaching the Japanese how to speak it? Imagine not being able to speak English, man. That must be hell. In a world that's basically dominated by mostly English speakers. And I don't mean that there's more English speakers than anyone else. I just mean most of the world, YouTube, mostly English. Twitch, mostly English. Like, how fucking hard would... Like, how hard would your life be if you do not understand English? Like, things are so limited. Speaking of Steam, I mean, today, Grofile, no chance. My power's going out in a like, hour and a half, thereabouts. Your Dragonflight lore changed the complete history of WoW. Holy shit, King Julian. I think you may have just started a new fucking war, bro. I don't know much about Asian culture, but I will say this. from what I understand, the Asians don't like being told that they're basically all the same. I don't think you should tell a Japanese person, well, you're kind of Chinese, right? I don't know. I have a feeling that they would not be okay with that. No, I didn't, CCS. Nice. First game. They held literal wars over who is the superior Asian. Well, there you go. And nowadays, D-Rocker, every single fucking white guy and his brother wants to marry an Asian girl. Never, like, that's the wildest thing to me. Whenever guys say, oh my god, I love Asian girls. And it's like, hey, which Asians are you referring to? No, just Asian girls. Right, so, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese, Indonesian. Like, there's so many fucking Asians. Like, which one do you wish to marry? Like, which one do you think is hot? The Continental Asian, the Southeast Asian, Indian. I think the mortal race that Deathwing used in making the Draktyr is primordial trolls. I would not disagree with that. Marrying girls just ain't it. I don't understand the fascination. As far as I'm concerned, I would date any girl that's hot. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't have a specific preference. It's not like, oh yeah, I love Asian girls, I just want to date. If I met a very fucking hot Asian girl, I'd probably date her. White girl doesn't matter to me, right? I don't have a specific preference in terms of race. Indian and Korean for me, please. Some Indians. Like, I'm busy rewatching The Big Bang Theory. You know Guthrapali's sister, the one that Leonard dates? Dude, she is fucking banging, bro. I look 18 for 45 years, then bam, they're 80. True. I just want an Asian grandmother that would cook me Asian food. Fuck the girlfriend. Holy shit. Most Asian girls I see can cook as well. So she can just cook you Asian food. Like, why would you need the grandma? You could just get her to cook you Asian food. Don't age to like 60. Isn't it? Which Asian country has this? There's an Asian country where girls are sort of measured in terms of there's a golden age. And when they enter their golden age, they're sort of considered like you have to marry before you hit the golden age. Because once you hit the golden age, now you start getting old and, you know, then it's no longer good. Is it Japan and China? All right. Did any girl right now? I'm down hard, and I'm tired of being complete virgin. I haven't even kissed a girl. Jesus, silly man, get out there, bro. Just get out there. Go meet some people. I tell you what, you want to get down, right? And you want to meet a girl. Go out and go talk to girls. Just everywhere. I would say start in the supermarket. Right? Go to the supermarket. Whenever you go to the supermarket, and choose girls that you are not attracted to at all. Right? Just say hello to them. Ask them a question. You know, something that really gets girls talking is when you like go, sorry, which one of these would you take? Which one of these would you pick? Right? They love talking, so they'll fucking talk your ear off about that shit. Learn how to talk to girls. If you're still in school, that makes it so much fucking easier, bro. Jesus, if you're still in school, holy shit. Just say hello to girls to start with. Learn how to speak to them. Once you know how to speak to a girl, you'll eventually be able to speak to the hot girls. Don't start with the hot girls, especially if you're not practiced. Because that shit is fucking nerve-wracking. I know. When you go up to a girl that you find very hot, it is so difficult to speak to them. So, like, every bad thought that you can fucking imagine is running through your head. So it's almost always better to just sort of, you know, start with the girls that you don't find attractive and work your way from there. Where none of them are of my tasting. Which, in your school, I'm happy living alone for the rest of my life, almost 30, never dated or kissed, etc. I don't know. There are people like that. I don't know if I would be like that. 28, never had a GIF, so yeah, feels awkward. You know, life happens in weird ways. One of my uncles met his first girlfriend at the age of 34. Got married at the age of 35, and they've been married for, what is it, 30, 40 years now? Or some shit like that. And that was his first girlfriend ever. So, life happens, bro. Be calm, girls don't bite, usually. If they don't bite, they're not worth it, wifin. And either that, or they're super nerds and rather gross, like they don't shower at all. Which fucking... Yeah, very happily, Donnie. Very, very happily. What fucking country are you in where girls don't shower? I don't know. I think you're being a bit too harsh. Most of my friends that have dated didn't last long. Yeah, if you are actually only 15, although I don't think you are, but if you are, that makes sense. High school relationships do not fucking last. And that's fine. They shouldn't last. They're supposed to just be for fun. And then you move on. Then the next 4 expansions, the first ones will appear. I fucking hope not. I really don't want to meet the first ones. She's cute too. She just wears a little bit too much makeup. But I would say Emeru, also very cute. Fucking Asmongold, bro.
So, you're here for this.
I'm not leaving here without it.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Here we go.
I'll do that. Just give me a minute, give me a minute, give me a minute. Oh, fuck.
Oh shit. Like she could ever kill the king. Like, come on. Like she could ever kill the king.
What a day.
That's pretty cool, actually. That is pretty cool. I've only ever had one girlfriend in my life, Akko, and I was in grade 7 in school. Only lasted like 2 weeks. Fuck. She's a steer, embarrassing all of OTK with her gaming skills. Is she really a good gamer? Actually, pretty good at that game. You hope that Asmongold and Emiru end up dating. Wait, are you shipping Asmongold and Emiru now, Donnie? Is this what's happening now? That or she's lucky? Emiru Gold. I mean, hey, she's probably very good at gaming, right? Shipping is cringe. Shipping happens all the time, though. Do you think we will ever see the Legion again? Yeah, obviously. I mean, the Burning Legion isn't gone. I don't know if... Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I think dating a guy like Asmongold is very difficult. And I don't think there are many girls in this world that would be able to date a guy like Asmongold. Like, the way that Asmongold lives his life really isn't conducive to at least female relationships. I mean, he does live the proper gamer lifestyle, you know? His house is full of shit, very dirty, barely ever cleans up. Very nonchalant, doesn't give a shit about anything, doesn't care about, like, anything really, right? All Asmongold ever does is play video games and chill. Most girls don't like that. Like, most girls, when they think about shit like that, remember, they're thinking big picture. They're thinking, all right, let's have kids. He's going to be playing video games. Is he ever going to spend time with the kids? Is he ever going to give a fuck about any of this? It just, yeah, it would, he will probably find someone, but it is going to be super difficult. 2 minute 40k short, or should I stick? No, you can link. Sure. What's this?
I caught him purging his headed on the chapel floor, right in front of our father's statue.
That's some incest right there. So does that mean you're a daddy king just because I'm a genetically enhanced superhuman doesn't mean I don't have urges? Yeah, but like, our urges are more thirsting for blood and thinking we're fighting Horus, you know? Why did the Emperor let us keep our phallic thunderhammers if not to use them?
Use them for fucking what?
Well, perhaps a battle system might come down with the White Ghost and ask for... And ask for what? Ask for a Blood Angel? We all know they were for the Black Templars.
They shouldn't even be engaging in such degeneracy in the first place.
Yeah, nah, honestly, mate, it's kind of that, especially when you do it in front of a statue of Sanguinius. I think we can all agree you've got a f***ing screw leg. It's Brother Kid. It's not like he was hurting anyone. Shut the f*** up! Brother Timmy, let me f***ing ask you.
I hate your fucking guts, Brother Timothy. I fucking hate you so fucking much. You're a fucking useless piece of shit.
Fuck you, Brother Timmy. Why the f*** are you such an ugly c***? You have such a f***ing disgusting face. I can't even look at it. Turn the f***ing mouth shut, you f***ing dog.
I'll f***ing kill you, Brother Timothy. I'll end your miserable existence right f***ing now and shit on your worthless corpse.
You're a stupid little brain-dead motherfucker, aren't you, Brother Timmy? Honestly, he is the f***ing dumbest c***. Anyway, what the f*** were we on about?
I don't even remember. But does anybody feel like some pizza?
Alright. In Tabletop, they somehow can't use Thunderhammer. What Thunderhammer? What's the video that you wanted me to watch? First night? Here we go.
his spear. I am the male that is faced.
Fuck, dude.
I am the bane of his foes, and the woes of the treacherous. I am the end.
Fuck, that is actually very cool. Shit. Dude, the Warhammer community has so much fucking shit that just... It just looks amazing. We'll listen to this in a second. Bro, let me just finish this shit. Let me just finish this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think... So someone spoke about Asmongold's money. When it comes to Asmongold, I don't think his money is ever going to play a part in his relationships, if I'm honest. Because look at the way he spends his money. Insofar as he doesn't. Hold up, we'll watch it now. Let me just finish this quickly. He owns several companies by now and also some shares. Yeah, but he doesn't spend his money. So if you look at Asmongold, if you're gonna say, well, he will get a girlfriend because he has so much money. Guys that get girlfriends because they have money, look at someone like Andrew Tate, right? It's someone that they show people that they have money. They spend that money. They buy things like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and fucking large houses. Then you have someone like Asmongold. He drives the same car that he did fucking 15 years ago. He lives in the house that his mother had, right? So Asmongold doesn't exude... If you saw Asmongold in the middle of the street and you didn't know who he was, you'd probably think he's somewhat of a bum, right? So his money is never going to play a factor in him getting a girlfriend. And if we are talking about, like, someone like Emeru, do you really think Emeru is moved by money in any way, shape, or form? Do you think money is going to motivate her to date Asmongold? She probably has shit tons of money herself, right? So the only part that money will play in a decision by, like, Emeru is girls tend to marry across and up. Girls do not marry down. Guys tend to marry down. Right? So a guy will very easily date a girl that's sort of very low in terms of earning potential and money and stature, and then just, you know, she'll move up as a result of that. Girls very rarely. So a girl like Emeru will probably not date a broke-ass motherfucker, right? Like someone that's broke and doesn't have a job. She's not going to date that. She'll date someone like Asmongold that has more money than she has, or about the same amount of money as she has, but the money is not going to be the motivator there. She's not going to look at the money and be moved by it. The money's just going to inform, so to speak. Now I want to, but so many things, but I'm broke as shit. Just keep going, bro. Just keep working. Amy has her own cash. She just gave Miska 400k loan on top of buying a brand new Corvette. Wait, why did she loan him 400k? Wyvern, you're falling into that fucking trap that... Arguably, I don't know if you're a girl or a guy, Wyvern, but you're falling into the same trap that most girls fall into. I can fix him. That never goes well for girls that think that they can fix the guy. It just doesn't happen. Guys don't, like, things like that don't change. There's definitely some things that you can help, but there are things that no matter what you do, that's just not going to change. He's not going to be interested in changing those things. Yeah, guys have the same thing. I can fix her, right? I can save her. Guys do it too. Although I think oftentimes guys don't get as hurt by that decision as girls does. Like, for girls, that decision can sometimes lead to some miserable fucking outcomes, right? Whereas I don't think guys have quite the same problem in that regard. I might be wrong. But that's just my general take. Girl, guilty? Yeah. Never think that you can fix a guy. Of course, there's exceptions, right? If a guy shows a clear... If there's clear indication that the guy wants to get his life together, that's a different story, right? Because obviously, not every girl is going to meet a millionaire. The vast majority of girls are going to meet very ordinary, random guys. And if you're lucky, the ordinary, random guy you meet is going to have aspirations for being better than what he actually is. And this is where, if you want to fix him, that's the guy that you want to go for. Because he already wants to get there. And with your help, he'd probably get there eventually. Or you will both get there eventually, right? Maybe neither one of you will ever earn enough to be rich. But together you could be rich if you both earn a decent living. But if a guy doesn't give a fuck, right, and he has no interest in giving a fuck, you marrying him, you can suck his dick every single night and he will just not give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to give a shit. And that's great, you know? That's fine. Well, for me, we were friends 1 year before we became a couple, but we hadn't seen each other before. So yeah, we had our first date and we were in love. That's awesome, Nightlight Crafting. I'm happy for you, man. You're not him. Will generally poison a man, though, as a means of homicide. Yeah, but now we're talking about, like, extreme ends, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it all depends. But I would say, like, some guys do want to better themselves and some guys do work towards bettering themselves. Other guys don't. They don't want to make themselves better. They're perfectly happy with who and what they are. And if that is, you know, if that is the guy you're dating, then that is the guy you're dating. And you have to just accept that. I guess we go back to the beginning here. Let's quickly give this a watch, shall we? 100% fan-made and in no way whatever. I didn't read that. Do you ever wonder? Never, Donnie. I am so fucking happy to be a man. I do not want to be a woman. I don't really think about that. I do know for a fact if I was a woman, I'd be a raging lesbian. Like, I would 100% be a lesbian. I can't imagine fucking dating a guy. There's just no way. But outside of that, I would not want to be a girl. There's just, I like being a guy. It's fucking nice. You know, and if the left is to be believed, I'm privileged. I don't feel that privilege. I don't know why I work so hard, but you know, I am apparently, and that's good. If I was a girl, I'd be oppressed and shit. As a girl, pretty much the same. Just lose the beard and add a couple of hair clips. Butch as fuck. There you go. So would you say that's you then, Akko? A guy who is happy the way you are and not want to change or better yourself? No. I change and better myself every single day, King Julian. I work very hard at becoming the guy that I want to be. So no, I wouldn't say that I'm perfectly happy with who I am. I'm happy with my personality. I would never change that because I think it's a fucking good one. And it's the one I have. But in terms of how I live my life, how I deal with responsibilities, I'm not always as happy. I have a tendency to sort of postpone things even when they should not be postponed. I have a tendency to sort of believe in the like I have a positivity bias, which I sometimes think is really harmful, where I will believe that the best will happen even if there's no evidence that the best will come to pass. And that's stuff that I'm really working on. I have a tendency to be idealistic instead of being realistic, which is something that I've mostly conquered, but I do find myself every once in a while still believing in the idealistic ideal of what could happen rather than the realistic ideal of what will happen. So these are things that I would really, really like to work on, and that I am working on actively. But no, I would say I'm very far from what I want to be. And also, I have not grown up yet. And that's a huge problem. That's actually one of the biggest problems. You see, men tend to grow up once they have children. Usually they start growing up once they get married, because women tend to demand that from a guy. But then men generally grow up once they have children. Because there's something, I don't know what it is, but from a psychological perspective, when you have someone that is absolutely reliant on you for existence, in other words, this thing cannot exist without you, it changes something in your brain. Like there's a switch, a biological switch that turns on and that forces you to grow up. If you're not married and you don't have kids, that switch doesn't turn on. And you have to force it. So you have to become an adult without anything forcing you to be an adult. And I don't live like an adult. I don't. I fucking play video games all day. I stream. I tend to ignore responsibilities unless it's absolutely required. And that's not good. That's not how you should be. You should absolutely not be like that. I had a GF with a kid a few years ago. Not even mine, but shit grows you up fast. Oh yeah, 100%. Holy Terra. Oh, shit. Here we go, boys. Here we go.
Inquisitor, we are ready to proceed.
Time to start our own little procession, then. Let's pay our dear friend a visit.
What the hell is this? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think this is what Terra would look like. This looks more like a cyberpunk future kind of thing. Now that looks a bit more like Terra. Dude, a movie about Warhammer 40k is gonna be so off the fucking charts, bro. Oh yeah, in Cavill we trust, absolutely. I just wonder what he's gonna make. Like, what's the first movie gonna be? Here we go. Do we like Inquisitors? The hell? What's going on? Holy shit. Fuck. Who is that? Wait, who is that? Because I'm assuming that's like a Primarch, or is that just the normal... Is that the Lord Inquisitor? Okay. What did he do?
You're missing a glorious parade, Anchorite.
Marcus, are we not done here? Surely the arbiters can deal with this mess.
You would hand the spoils of our hunt to the arbitrators.
We have what we came for. Sentence him and be done with it.
Kaiva, what say you?
Your choice, Inquisitor.
Please, Inquisitor, I swear I have told you all that I know. Please.
A trifle late for begging, wouldn't you think?
Name your price. Name it.
Seeking to bribe an agent of the Golden Throne? Shall I add sedition to your list of crimes? In the name of His Holy Majesty, the God Emperor of Man, I thrice judge thee excommunicate traitoris, by actions, by associations, and by beliefs. Your sentence is... death. Oh, if you have any last words, you may speak them now. We will ensure they're entered into the Ordo's archives.
Mercy, Inquisitor, grant me mercy.
Mercy, Anchorite. I don't even know what mercy is anymore.
Is that how Inquisitors kill people? Just shoot them.
It's all right. How old are you, Anchorite?
What?
Your age. How many rejuvenate treatments have prolonged your unworthy existence? How many years have you spent polluting our throne world with your blasphemous breath? 3 centuries? 4? A rhetorical question, my friend, to illustrate the point. This sentence is long overdue!
Ah. And I'm assuming there's not an extra, there's no new episodes of this. I'm assuming. God damn it. Can you imagine 6 years ago? Can you imagine how cool it would be today with Unreal Engine? I think it was a victim of the Games Workshop canceling. Man, Games Workshop, they're making so many mistakes in how they handle shit like this. Because by allowing people to actively like make shit like this, how many people do you add to your game, to your universe? Because people see this and they think, oh my god, this is so cool. And then, you know, they want to know more about it. It's annoying. What's this? Pretty much, right? Pretty much. As soon as I told you guys, as soon as we learn of an alien civilization, we will march. Like, that's when Earth finally decides, fuck it, time to put all this shit behind us. Let's go to war, boys. Defane Games Workshop said they are not greedy, they're just bad at business. It's greed. No, 100% greed. Anyone that says it isn't greed isn't paying attention. Aldezen, they're making money because they're still doing the one thing that made them famous in the first place, and that is they put out very good lore and story. So in that sense, they've never abandoned the origins of their company. They've never abandoned the roots of their company, which is great story, great lore, great tabletop. Of course, the problem comes in with all the other things that they're doing. Now, in that sense, we make the argument that at least they're not backstabbing the players. They're backstabbing the community, yes, and they are screwing over the community quite often, but they're not backstabbing the players, for the most part. Obviously, all companies will have missteps and mistakes that they make, but for the most part, they seem to be alright. 2 of their minis is hard to beat, to be honest, even if they take the piss with the price. True. Being good at business, hiding your greediness. Actually, do you know who Sigmar is? I know that there is a lot of controversy around the age of Sigmar, but I'm not entirely sure who Sigmar is. Let's watch Howl's Reach Part 3, boys. Hades Hive. Okay. Can I just ask? It seems like, at least according to what people have said in the comment section on YouTube, this is the audiobook for Howl's Reach. Why did Games Workshop allow this to stay up? Considering this is just the visualization of the audiobook of Howl's Reach. fucking orcs, bro. It won't be that it's flying under the radar. These companies don't capture copyright manually, right? It's not like there's a room full of people at Games Workshop that watches every single YouTube video out there to see if someone's stealing their copyright. They have AI that scan every single YouTube video that's uploaded every single day. And if it catches anything, including audiobooks or books even, is copyrighted. So if it captures any part of a book that you're reading or of a song that you're listening or anything like that, if it's more than 4 seconds, it's gone, right? Who the hell is that? Well, that's a normal human, and he's fighting a fucking orc? Commissar Yarrick. Okay.
Are you Kirov?
I am.
We are the Emperor's Knights. We are the warriors of the Eternal Crusade and the sons of Rogel Dawn. I am Helbrecht, High Marshal of the Black Templars. With me is Bayard, Emperor's Champion, and Grimaldus, Ecclesiarch. We come to offer you our blades, our service, and the lives of over 900 warriors in the defense of your world.
Kirov stood in silence. 900 Astartes. Entire star systems were conquered with a fraction of that.
I am glad to hear it. And welcome to Armageddon.
Hades' hive will not survive the first week.
The man speaking is ancient, and he looks every hour of his age. Both piety and hate echo in his every word. His name is Sebastian Yarrick. Even we Astartes must respect that name.
What is coming in system now far exceeds what has laid waste to the planet before. The other hives must be reinforced 1,000 times over. Hades will burn.
At our best estimations, Battlefleet Armageddon, the orbital defenses, and the Astartes fleets remaining in the void will be able to deny the enemy landing for 9 days. These are our best estimates.
And the worst? 4 days.
Once the orbital war is lost, be it 4 days or 9, our fleets will break from the planet in a fighting withdrawal. From then on, Armageddon will be defenseless beyond what is already entrenched upon the surface. The Orcs will be free to land whatever and wherever they wish.
Who will lead the Astartes vessels?
Given his seniority and the expertise of his chapter, High Marshal Helbricht of the Black Templars will take overall command of the Astartes fleets. We are to remain in orbit.
We are the obvious choice to command the Astartes elements in the orbital battles.
I was wrong. I will not die in futility on this world.
High Marshal, we can slaughter the Greenskin Tyrant before he even sets foot on the world below us.
I have already spoken with the other marshals, my brother. We must leave a contingent on the surface to defend one of the Hive cities that yet remains ungarrisoned by Astartes.
That is not our duty, my liege.
And yet, a commander must remain.
Don't do this.
It is already done.
No!
This is not the time. The decision is made, Grimaldus. I know you as I knew Mordred. You will not refuse this honor.
I would burst the great enemy's black heart in my hand and cast his blasphemous flagship to the surface of Armageddon, wreathed in holy fire. Do not leave me here, Helbricht. Do not deny me this glory.
You will not refuse this honor. Wait, brother.
Are they chaos corrupted or not?
Blood of Dawn. Now that's a sight.
Their destination was called, with bleakness so typical of this world, Hell's Reach.
So they are effectively, they're leaving him here to die. That's effectively what's happening here.
We cannot be the only Astartes strength sent to this city. We will not be alone. The Guard is with us, and militia forces. Humans? The Legio Invigilata has landed to the east of the city. Titans, my brother. I don't see you sneering at that. Reclusiac.
How can we defend all this?
With blade and bolter. With faith and fire.
Man lost an arm, and it barely slows him down. It is but a flesh wound. Wow. Wow. Holy shit. Much good. Much fucking good. Yarrick seems like a boss. Internet seems to be problematic. though. Which books can I read to learn more about Yarrick? Are there books out there that I can read to learn more about Yarrick? Hell's Reach. Is that the only book where he is? Where he's in? Or are there other books? Hell's Reach is just one of the better ones. Changes as they come closer to battle. The blurry black and white is to signify how the Black Templars see things when they are not fighting. Ah, I didn't know that. Angron killed him just recently. He has a series named after him. Okay, so I need to get the book series that's named after him. Yarrick is such a ridiculously effective enemy. The orcs think of him much like we think of a superstar. Yeah, because the orcs fucking love war. So it makes sense that the orcs would look at him as like a superstar. They'd be like, yeah, this man has what we need. Let's fight him. The orcs, man. What an interesting fucking race. Where's from all this we go? I have no idea. The orcs didn't kill him because killing him would get rid of a worthy opponent. So they basically work against themselves. Is that what you're saying? They basically work against themselves. They don't want to win the war against Yarrick because winning would mean he dies and then they lose a valuable opponent. The orcs respected Yarrick so much, the orcs are gonna go ham on Angron's ass because he killed Yarrick? Fucking orcs, man. They're wild. The orcs really just make no fucking sense. But I guess that's why you guys love them so much. Is because they make no fucking sense. Anyways, I think it's time for us to go. My power's going out soon anyways, and I have to make a few phone calls before the power goes out to try and make sure that everything is set for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the electrician coming out to install the battery in the inverter, so hopefully by the end of tomorrow all of this shit is over. Now, if my luck is anything to go by, tomorrow they're going to install the battery in the inverter and then realize that, oh shit, the inverter doesn't work. I've been dreading that, right? I've been dreading that. Because literally yesterday the electrician goes, yeah, I've installed many of these. The only thing that can go wrong is that sometimes they don't work out of the box. And as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, here we go. They're gonna install this thing, it's not gonna fucking work, and then we're gonna realize that it's gonna be weeks before they get a replacement or whatever. Let's hope that isn't the case. But I'll keep you guys up to date with everything. Just join Discord. I'll tell you what's gonna happen and when. Should work without power unless it's a handy phone, landline. No, it's mobile phone, and the only reason I have to do that, Massey, why I have to make the calls before the power goes out, I don't know if it's where I live, because remember, I live in a relatively small town, so I'm not sure how many mobile towers they have, but I, for example, can't get onto the internet when the power is out. The other day, I tweeted something whilst the power was out. It took almost 15 minutes for the tweet to post. I can't browse shit. I can't look for shit. I can't make phone calls. Every time I try to call someone, it literally just says line busy, or it just drops the line 100%. Like, just the phone call doesn't go through. So I'm not sure like what the hell goes on here. But when the internet, like when the power goes out, it's out, right? And that's the end of the fucking discussion. Is Noble live right now? If Noble's live, we can raid him. Oh yeah, Noble's live. Okay, let's raid Noble. Go say hello to Noble, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. I'll see you back here tomorrow. No, I probably won't see you tomorrow. It all depends on what time the electrician gets here and how long it takes for him to install everything. But there's a good chance we won't be live tomorrow. Which means somewhere over the weekend, we'll probably do a test live stream just to see how everything goes and how the power holds out and stuff like that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for spending your afternoon, your morning, your evening with me, whatever time in the day it is for you. I really appreciate all of you. I hope you enjoyed the stream as much as I enjoyed making it. And yeah, I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace out, fam.
Was gonna be like AQ40 opening, where it was